Hey everyone, Nick Apicella here with ResoNix Sound Solutions to do another competitor spotlight at 2023 World Finals. And for this one, we have Dan Merritt. Dan, what car you got here, and what's going on with it?
So this is a 2010 Dodge Challenger SRT8. Had a previous system in it, and it has gotten a little long on the tooth, so we decided we're gonna gut it and redo the system.
Something simple, right?
No, well, so we wanted to basically compete in the top classes of all formats. So expert up, and so something we did a little different than I think most competitors do is most competitors, I think, they look at the interior of a car and they say, all right, where can we put speakers?
Yeah.
So what we did was we gutted the interior, found out where the best positions were for the speakers in the car, and then built the interior around the speaker locations that we chose.
Okay.
So, and then we tried to basically utilize the best products that we could get a hold of.
Okay.
So, the theme of this car is car basically is known as Thanos.
Okay.
You know, it's the all conquering, right? So you'll notice, I've got the Infinity Gauntlet and the dolls in the trunk, and that's just kind of as a nod to the theme of the car.
Yeah. So what's going on back here?
So what you got basically is you got four audio wave amplifiers. There's two channels in a single chassis here, and then two monoblocks that run the front and rear subs.
Okay.
And then there's an 18-inch hybrid sub on a half-inch aluminum plate, basically, that's bolted to the car.
Okay.
The way this works is it's a infinite baffle.
Okay.
The airflow actually rolls around and vents out the quarter panels on either side of the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that's neat.
If you actually put your hand back there by the woofer when it's playing, you won't feel any air movement out the back. It all rolls to the outside, vents to the outside of the vehicle.
So this install is beautiful. Who is responsible for this?
So Phil Cantu, basically with at MTI Acoustics in College Station, Texas.
He did a great job.
And he's actually built this as his Installer of the Year submission for this year.
Yeah. I figured that's what was going on.
Yeah. So the way that the design of this trunk came about is they actually 3D scanned the trunk, put it into a CAD file, designed the trunk, and then it was actually a CNC cut with a machine, and it's all expanded PVC, basically, that's stack fabbed and then held together primarily with a lot of 6-pound neo magnets.
Okay.
So literally, I can take this whole trunk apart with a panel tool.
Yeah.
And
it all just kind of pulls apart.
All pulls apart very easy to surface.
Yeah. And the upholstery is beautiful. The details, the small little details are just great.
Yep.
Phil, if you are watching this, you already know I'm a fan of your work, but my God.
Yeah, he's outdone himself.
This is beautiful. I mean, for those watching on video, I don't think it's going to translate. Honestly, it's perfect.
Yep, you'll notice little details like most competitors. You'll notice that they don't do anything with their trunk lid.
No,
okay?
no.
So we carry the theme of the trunk lid into the entire install. With the vinyl and the suede all the way through the car.
Okay.
Just little details like that make the difference.
So why don't we hop up front? I'll go on the driver's side, and you can tell me more.
All right.
So what is going on up here? This is wild.
So again, kind of what we talked about earlier, where we decided we're going to put the speakers where they sounded best in the car, and then build the dash around the car.
Okay.
So basically, the car has 3 sealed enclosures in the front of the car. There's a 0.4 sealed enclosure all the way up against the firewall, firing out this way with a 6 and a tweet. Mm-hmm. 6 and tweet on that side, and basically the idea with this open grille format is to make nothing get in the way of the sound, to interfere, no reflections, no loading, nothing going on. The sound comes out.
Yeah.
And again, very easy to service this whole section here. 2 bolts out of the side. Wow. And the whole thing slides out.
Yeah.
and you can service that service.
Super easy.
Right. Wow. 6 tweet sealed enclosure in the center of the dash with a 10-inch sub.
Okay.
Up firing.
Okay.
3.5-inch center channel for 2-seat, and then custom A-pillars that actually were carried over from the previous install.
Yeah, I remember
with a single dome tweeter there.
Wow.
Basically, that plays very high, like 10K up.
So you have 2 tweeters up front on each side. What do you not often do you see that. What do you find the benefit to be with that?
So the tweeters that we have right here, basically what it's for is to help bring the stage up and push the stage out.
Okay.
Because of how they're in there and how they're aimed.
Okay.
That's the only purpose of these.
Okay.
Width, height, depth.
Okay.
And then the main tweeter here, basically, that's butted up against the mid-range, is what actually carries the majority of the musicality portion of the vehicle.
Okay, so it's just for staging purposes, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what else is going on up here? What makes this whole thing, takes it even further to the next level?
All right. So what you don't see is, for example, we utilize the factory air conditioning in this car. Still got factory AC.
So this can still be daily driven if you want.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Basically, for example, the all the gauges, notice it's not a gauge cluster anymore. All the gauges basically are run through a Maestro, through the ODD port basically, and come up on the Kenwood screen.
So you can still use TAC, speedo, all that stuff.
There it is. Yeah.
Fuel, RPM, voltage, everything.
Yeah, everything is right there basically. So you can maintain the usability of the vehicle.
Yeah.
One of the big things in the dash that took up so much space that I know Phil was proud about was if you've ever taken a dash apart that has a huge
blower motor.
Well, not the blower motor. The handler box in the middle of the dash.
Okay.
Where all the various AC venting basically goes. So that thing was it was huge, like a cinder block.
Okay.
Taking up all the space. So that pulled that out of the car, and we realized that we really only need 2 AC vents for when we're going to drive it. So he actually 3D printed a new airbox with a single in and 2 out for the and actually he 3D printed these AC vents also.
Wow. Phil, these look great. Good job.
and the attention to details. The car's got 2 sources. I can use the Kenwood, or here there's an AK player basically that's incorporated into where I used to have drink holders. Obviously, I'm not going to be putting a drink in this car.
Yeah.
So
no drinking and driving anymore.
No more. I just drink an Uber, So, and then of course the AK rotary remote.
Okay. Cool. So, what else you got going on?
Rear seat delete.
Okay.
Basically, with the way you can see the front of the subwoofer, that's a hybrid 18.
Yeah.
Everything is basically all suede covered, basically, or vinyl, basically matches from front to back. Under the section you see in the rear area where the seat.
I'm gonna pull out a flashlight because it's a little dark in here. And I just want to.
Where you normally would have set your ass is there's 3 processors underneath there.
3 processors.
There's a Moscone H12. There's a Riven up mixer center channel or a 2-seat processor, and then there's a DBX old school Pro Audio processor in there also.
Wow, what is the point of the DBX?
The DBX allows you to best way I can describe it is when a technician is mixing a live music, they will have a tendency to do things to the music to make it playable on all formats, whether it be an ADM radio, a high-end audio system. They govern it, if you will.
Yeah. So it's like a compressor, limiter, expander,
correct.
Stuff like that.
Right. So
typical features that a typical car audio processor doesn't have.
Right.
Okay.
So this particular device allows me to undo what the recording engineer basically does to the music. Yeah.
Wow.
Inline, basically going before the processor.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I can change the dynamic range from 0 up to like 140 dB
Wow.
Or I can basically
So
change.
I think that feature. My knowledge on these features isn't great, but I think that's called an expander.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're expanding the dynamic range.
Yep.
Manually, which
Yes.
is pretty interesting. You don't really see that
No,
at all.
no. It's a 120 volt pro audio piece that was converted to 12 volt.
Wow.
By Mr. Mark Eldridge.
Cool.
Something he's used in his vehicles for quite a while.
Gotcha.
So
I guess last questions. I guess or last few. What was? I usually ask people like, what was the biggest like aha moment for you in the past year? But this is a brand new build, so I guess there's a lot of them. What do you think was the biggest piece to the puzzle of making Thanos what it is now? What do you think, acoustically speaking, not so much the fabrication, but
so it was a situation where I had a previous build on the circuit basically, and the whole time we were running that, I was thinking about, all right, what's the next step? What are we going to do on version 2? And everything that's basically been designed in version 2 was something that has been thought about for several years. And then basically a design was put into place, a plan to implement it, and then it was implemented by MTI. Really, I think it was finding the right builder, Phil Cantu, and finding the right shop, MTI, that had the ability to do it.
Yeah. You're like you might be the third or so person that has mentioned something similar. Finding, there's a lot of good shops out there, but
Right.
there's not a lot of shops that understand the level that really needs to go into a competition vehicle.
Correct.
And MTI is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and Chris has done it for many years, and had built his shop's reputation in that regards, and as a result, basically, he's had very good success with it. There are a lot of shops that are, I think, sometimes they'll be run by a salesperson.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're run by someone who actually knows how to actually do it themselves and gets their hands there. I think the more successful shops, in my opinion, are the ones that actually have guys running them that have an understanding of what it takes to actually do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
Similar to yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Not anymore, but.
Well, hey, whatever direction you choose to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a basic understanding of.
Oh yeah.
Or an advanced understanding.
Basic.
Yeah.
A little basic.
Yeah.
But I guess then the last question I got for you is, what kind of advice would you give to someone watching this video who is thinking about getting their toes wet with sound quality competitions?
So I would say the first thing you need to do is go to some competitions and talk to the competitors and look and listen to some cars basically, and see what type of equipment they're using,
how they're doing their installs,
basically get recommendations from installs that you like about who had done them for them, and go that direction. Do your research. Don't just show up at your neighborhood shop, because if you do, basically they may or may not tell you, oh yeah, I can build you a competition car, and then that's going to be could potentially.
Yeah, we built one in the '90s. It was great.
Yeah, right. They're much different. Yeah, so you just do your research.
Yeah.
Ask questions, interview people, talk, and before you make that jump.
Yeah, and then if you see Dan Merritt out there, ask him for a demo.
I'll be happy to give anybody a demo that asks me for it.
And that's another stigma that a lot of people have. Like, they're a little nervous going to one for their first time. They don't know, if it's going to be super tight, locked down, or if everyone's open. Everyone here is super open, and I'm sure you've been around since the times where things were locked down. And
I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah. So I come from the '90s. Where I competed back then, where there was no internet back then. First off, and all the different installation techniques and sound tuning techniques and stuff that we were doing were all very closely held secrets.
Yeah. And now everyone's here, everyone's open.
It's all on the internet for the most part. You can find it. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's things about this car that I'm not going to share per se.
Yeah.
But most of it you can figure out.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all cool. We're all happy to help and listen and give you a demo.
Correct.
So, yeah. Any thank yous? Anything?
Yeah. Thank you to Jeffrey Hall basically for cleaning and tuning and being my eyes and ears at MTI. Thank you for Christopher Pate and Phil Cantu for putting together a great vehicle, and thank you for Greg Thompson, the owner of Italia Hi-Fi, which we run several of those drivers in this car for sponsoring the build.
Cool. I think that sums it up, and thank you for taking us through this amazing car and amazing installation, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, brother.
All right, have a good one.
All right.